Okay, welcome back to the second part of the No Bullshit Guide. Today we are going to be looking at the calorie deficit and micronutrients. Um, macronutrients. We'll delve a little bit deeper into everything a little bit later on. Essentially, I want to go through exactly what calorie deficit is, as most of you on here will be coming on here because you have some form of weight loss goals. But we need to understand exactly what macronutrients are. And as we dispelled some of the myths last time, we're going to talk through exactly why you need those macronutrients and what they do for your body so we can start to not just restrict them, basically. So we can start to stop demonizing carbs, fats, thinking protein is the be all and end all. We need all of them, and I'm going to explain exactly why. So let's delve into it. So what is a calorie deficit? For most of you will know what a calorie deficit is. It gets banded around everywhere online now. Obviously, people like James Smith and stuff have made it super famous, which is good because it helps us understand a little bit more and change the narrative a little bit to just eat less, move more. Something that I just don't really get. I mean, if it was easy as that, we'd all be pretty skinny, right? Essentially, a calorie deficit is when you consume less energy than you put out. So basically, when you eat and drink less than the amount of energy you expend. There's loads of different formulas and stuff to work out exactly how much energy you're expending. We'll go through that in a second. But essentially, you need to know that if you eat less than you move, you'll lose weight. But how do we do that? A calorie, you don't really need to know this, but just as a definition, it's basically the energy to raise the temperature of a gram of water 1 degree. Scientific term. You're probably never going to use that in your life unless it comes up in a quiz. Just don't worry about it. So why is a calorie deficit not enough? If you want to lose weight, you have to be in a calorie deficit. There's no way. There's no two ways about it. If you want to lose weight and feel good and have energy, and not break in 2 weeks and keep going through this yo-yo diet, you have to do it the right way. You cannot just keep going in a calorie deficit and think, oh fuck it, I'm just going to eat McDonald's today. It doesn't matter. It fits in my calories. Absolutely enjoy your McDonald's, but make sure you have a different nutrition meal with it as well. I love this analogy. Like if you drive a petrol car and you put diesel in it, it's not going to run for very long. So if you just keep filling your car with shit, it's going to stop. Your body's going to do exactly the same, and then you'll start to break down, and it will make it unattainable to stay in your calorie deficit. Like you're not going to stick to long-term calorie deficits by eating shit all of the time. You need to feel good. On top of that, how to work out your daily calorie needs. This is a no bullshit guide. I'm not going to bullshit you. Go and use a calorie calculator. There's formulas that you can do. You can literally work out to the gram how many things. Go and use a calorie calculator. Be truthful with yourself. Most people will overestimate how much they use. You can go onto my page. There's a calorie calculator on there, or there's loads. Just literally put it in Google. Underestimate your calories because you'll over exaggerate. Everybody does. It's human nature. What you need to do is put your activity levels in there. Put your weight, height, etc. on there. It'll work it out for you. Don't waste your time with doing it all yourself. And then stick to those calories for 4 weeks. If you don't see a change after 4 weeks, then they're wrong. If you're starting to put on weight, you've gone too high. If you're starting to lose weight, well, there you go. You're in a calorie deficit. It can take a little while for your body to catch up, and there's loads of different things that goes on. But just be patient with it. Just be a little bit patient. Like some people will lose weight really quick. A lot of people will just cut out foods, carbohydrates, and they'll lose water weight really quick. You need to take your time. Essentially, 500 calories per day, about 3,500 calories a week, which is the rough estimate to lose about a pound of fat. Per week. So there's a kind of guesstimate. So that's how you'll know if you're there or thereabouts. But yeah, don't waste your time with no some big scientific methods. Just use a calculator. Let's go through your macronutrients. So let's delve exactly what they are. And I always include 4. Essentially, there's 3, but this is a no bullshit guide, so definitely don't bullshit me. You are most likely probably an alcohol drinker. I always include fiber as well because it's really important. But most of us will have some form of alcohol in our diet as well, and it's got a lot of calories in it. So we need to make sure we understand and account for that as well. Same with drinks, like liquid drinks and stuff like that. If you're not planning for your coffees, your fizzy drinks, anything like that, then you'll be missing a trick as well. So essentially, we've got our carbohydrates, fats, proteins, alcohol, and fiber. Let's break them down exactly what they are, what they do for the body, so we can start to stop demonizing certain ones, and hopefully you'll understand exactly why you need each one, and we need to not cut out everything from there. So carbohydrates. Essentially, carbohydrates is the energy source for your body. It's the primary energy source. It's absolutely necessary. It goes through a system. It gets turned into glucose. That's essentially our energy levels. That's your blood sugar levels. So that's how we provide the body with energy. And if you're doing any kind of exercise, which 90% of you will be on here, you 100% need to be including some of it in your diary. It is 4 calories per gram. Just a little fact there. You'll see why that's important, especially when it comes to the alcohol. But if you're performing any kind of physical activity, especially if it's over 60 minutes at any type of intensity anyway, then you kind of need to be aiming for a minimum of 3 grams per kilo of body weight. We'll delve a little bit more deeper into that, but essentially primary energy source, absolutely necessary to go forward. A couple of things to note. So you've got 2 types of carbohydrates, essentially. You've got slow releasing carbohydrates, your grains, vegetables, beans, starchy carbohydrates. These are the ones that are gonna slowly like drip glucose into the blood, into your blood levels, and we want to kind of keep that nice and level. That's what's going to give you sustained energy throughout the day. That's what's just going to top up your glycogen levels throughout the day. And then you've got your fast releasing carbohydrates, so simple sugars basically. So anything like actual sugar, things like energy drinks, white beds rice, fruit juice, cereals. Your goal is to keep your blood sugar levels stable throughout the day, and use the fast acting ones when necessary. So what I mean by that is, if you're just having all these fast acting carbohydrates all day, your glucose levels are going to be spiking. You're going to be having high energy, low energy, high energy, low energy. You're going to keep getting all of these crashes. Your goal is to keep it nice and steady all the way through the day, and then when you need that energy, that's when we get those fast acting carbohydrates in. If you're about to go into a workout, or if you're the type of person that works out in the morning, you don't like to eat in the morning, something like a fruit juice that's going to allow you to get some fast acting carbohydrates and turn it up really quickly, and use those, is going to give you that energy, and you're not going to be just going from a depleted source. So use it to your advantage. I absolutely love cereal. It is one of my go-tos for pre-workout. I will, if I'm training in the afternoon, I'll eat a bowl of cereal 40 minutes before I'm training, and I know for a fact that's gonna sustain me and keep me going. Some people like a fruit juice in the morning before they train if they can't handle solid foods. It's absolutely necessary, but just use them to your advantage. Fats, okay, again, another one that gets demonized a little bit. So, again, absolutely necessary. I can't say this enough. It is like it's the thing that kind of holds everything together. It's going to give you energy. It protects your organs, supports cell growth. So it's basically going to take all the vitamins and minerals and stuff like that around your body. It's going to store the fat soluble vitamins. It's going to help you keep all the nutrients in your body, but it also does loads of different things as well. I'll run into those in a second. You've got 2 types, saturated and unsaturated. Again, this isn't a science lesson, so I'm not going to delve deep into exactly what they do. We'll look a little bit more in a second. But just know that you want to kind of avoid saturated fats a little bit, and you want to get a decent amount of unsaturated fats in your body. So the kind of things that you want to need to know. So saturated fats, government recommendations is that you want to get around about 11% of total fat consumption. Who's got time to work that out unless you're using MyFitnessPal and things like that, and tracking? Just try and keep it to a minimum, like greasy foods, like deep fried foods and stuff like that. Keep those to like try and keep it to 10% of your daily intake or your weekly intake. Unsaturated fat, absolutely vital. We need these. So these are in things like avocados, oily fish, nuts, seeds, oils. So basically like your omegas. So your omega 3s, 6s. Really, really important for heart health. So your fats, you have things called LDLs and HDLs. This is your like how they control the cholesterol levels in your body. You can't do that without the right types of fat in there. If you just have loads of unsaturated fat, you're going to increase that cholesterol levels. They absorb vitamins and help them thrive. So basically, all your fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K, really, really important for keeping the body's organisms going. You need to make sure you've got enough unsaturated fat in your body to store enough of those vitamins in there. If you don't, your body's not going to work properly at a basic level. That's it. Sexual organs, you need a little bit of fat around those organs. We all laugh about the podge and stuff around the gut. You'll see visceral fat levels and stuff at a low level. That's when you start to get a six-pack and things like that. And it's a massive, massive source of energy as well. So without getting too scientifically, glucogenesis is basically when people say you're in the fat burning zone. Essentially, all that means is you're turning your fat energy stores into glucose, so into carbohydrate. That's it. So when people go, I can't have any carbohydrate, that's all your fat is doing is turn it into glucose, which is what carbohydrate does. Through glucogenesis, it is a much, much slower process than through carbohydrates. So that's why when you're working out at lower periods, we tend to use this because your body's got more time to adapt and change it over. Again, without getting too scientific, it is good to work out sometimes on low carbohydrate levels if you want to improve this system. But that's for another talk. That's for another day. That's only really if you've got some very high level performance goals. For most of you, you just need to get that in. Protein. This is the one that everybody loves for good reason. It is kind of a little bit of a cheat code. When you go, obviously you want a good high protein diet. Apart from obviously those people that I kind of mentioned earlier or in the previous one. Little fact about protein: it's made up of 20 plus amino acids. It's like 24 amino acids. These are basically the building blocks for everything that your body needs to repair. So if you don't have enough protein in your diet, you're not going to be able to repair your brain when you sleep. You're not going to be able to do the muscle fibers. Loads and loads of different things. So your body needs these to build up on. You've got 4 calories per gram. Again, so you kind of saw the fats is 9 calories, so it's over double carbohydrates and fats, double protein as well. It's absolutely key whether you want to lose weight or build muscle. It is the most satiating macronutrient. That basically means that it will help you feel fuller for longer. So if you have a high protein diet, the likelihood is you're going to be snacking a lot less. You've got to be reaching for just sugary foods and things like that a lot less. Government guidelines for any normal healthy person who wants to maintain muscle and not degenerate muscle, it's around 0.75 or 1 gram per kilogram. Just double these if you're working in pounds. But your ideal amount, especially if you've got a weight loss goal, you want to start around 1.5. It's for most people that need to lose weight. It tends to mean that you're on the heavier side, which is harder to get the higher amounts of protein in. So start around 1.5 and build yourself up from there. 2.2 is kind of that maximum limit of muscle growth and repair from there. A couple of things to note: not all proteins equal. So you get complete proteins. So this is basically something that's made up of all of the amino acids. It's a lot harder for vegans and vegetarians to get those in. There are definitely some complete things like soy, and for like vegetarians who eat eggs and stuff like that, you can get complete source in there. But obviously milk. So basically, like a lot of animal products, meat, poultry, cheese. If you're if you are vegan or vegetarian, or you want to get more than one source, so you want to make sure that you're getting all the amino acids in, just make sure you have a couple of different sources at your meal. So especially if you're vegan or vegetarian, something like beans, legumes, some like edamame beans and things like that. Then you have some nuts and seeds. Just kind of pair a few different things together. Alcohol and fiber. Okay, there's me enjoying a nice little cocktail. I actually think that might be a mocktail. I think this was in my non-drinking days. 7 calories per gram. So you can see there it's higher than higher than macronutrients. It's higher than fats. No, no, it's not. It's higher than carbohydrates and protein. 7 calories per gram is a lot. There's a whole scientific way to work it out when it's like depending on your percentage or how much percentage is in alcohol and stuff like that. But we're not here to bullshit you. You're not going to work that out. You probably don't really give a fuck that much. You just want to know that it's high in calories, and there's no real nutritional benefit to it, apart from the fact you're getting some form of liquid in. It's going to dehydrate your brain. That's what a hangover is. And obviously, we tend to know that we overeat. I'm not saying cut out alcohol. I'm saying if you're going to drink it, make a plan for it. I do have an alcohol cheat sheet. If you want that, obviously, feel free to just shoot me a DM. But just plan for it. Like, just don't bury your head in the sand. And my big tip here is if you are going to go out drinking, have the right foods in your fridge for the next day. That's what I do with all of my clients. Just make sure we've made a plan for the next day, because we still need to enjoy our life, right? We're not going to just cut out everything. I'm a big believer in inclusion rather than exclusion. So if you want to keep everything in, just make sure you make a plan for it. Fiber, I'll keep this in here as well, because it's really important. Basically, mostly it's important for digestion, like your insoluble fiber is going to help. Basically, just it works. It just builds up and then goes through your digestive tract, and it just helps everything move along. Basically, so yeah, you definitely need that in. About 30 grams per day is a recommended amount. Again, if you're tracking, you can see that. But high fiber foods, things like bran flakes, brands. You can get loads of different fiber foods. So just make sure that you're trying to get all of these in. And yeah, that's it. So the next one we will be going on to, hopefully that kind of gave you an insight to exactly what macronutrients are and what calorie deficit is. The next stage will be how to get in everything you need and still hit your goals. I'm basically going to simplify the process for you. You don't need to make it hard. So let's just simplify it, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, can't wait to see you on the next one. Again, as always, if you have any questions or want to know any more information about anything I spoke about, just slide in my DMs or just send me an email.